Hi students, welcome to one more class, and today we will review a very interesting topic, but this is going to be based on a different skill than the previous one. Today we will have the speaking skill. Here I highlight the general information about today's class, and this is going to be based on the skill for speaking. The level of this class is going to be a basic English 1 level, and we have designed a very interesting objective for this class and for this topic, and the objective is the following. We can find it right here. It says, at the end of the class, students will be able to communicate information about them in a proper way, right? And the content, it means the topic for today's class, it is tell me about yourself. So probably it's a topic that we have heard about, and so far in the basic English courses, it helps a lot in order for us to be able to start communicating a proper way and also to start developing the speaking skill. Let's move on into the class structure. Here we have like the action plan for our class today, and we have the introduction to the topic. We will review the following topics as well. So since this is based on the speaking skill, we know that speaking, it is used to communicate with other people, to express ideas, to express beliefs, and also to express any way of thinking related to a topic. So in this case, we will cover 3 different important factors that are going to help us in order for us to communicate in a better way. So the first one that we have here is the tone of voice. So the tone of voice, as it says there, is like that tone that we have at the time of speaking, at the time of talking, at the time of conversating with another person. So the tone of voice is very important. Why? Because believe it or not, the tone of voice can easily express your emotions. Someone, just by listening your tone of voice, that person can identify if you are sad, if you are happy, if you are thinking about something else, if you are bored, if you are not interested in that conversation. So it is very easy to identify like your emotions, your attitude, just by the tone of voice. But it is very important as well to say that when we are talking or when we are speaking, we need to show that good tone of voice, like to sound very enthusiastic whenever we are like trying to transmit a message to another people in a verbal form. That's the first one that we have today. The second one that we have is the eye contact. The eye contact is another factor that is very important whenever we are speaking. So on this skill, on the speaking skill, we need to cover the eye contact as well. Why? Because this is going to help a lot. Most of the time in the interviews that we have, let's say the eye contact is very important, because if you are talking to someone, you need to be looking at his or her eyes. If you are not looking at his or her eyes, it means that you are not paying attention. Just imagine that a friend of you is like talking to you and is like telling you something very important about his or her life, and you are like looking to the sky, looking to the wall, looking to the floor. So the other person will think that basically you don't care about what he or she is saying. That person is going to think that you're not paying attention, or nowadays with technology, right, that most of the people spend a lot of time in cell phones, and if someone is talking to you and you are like this, like just texting or chatting with someone else and the other one is talking next to you, so that means that you are not paying attention, and the other person can do the same with you, and you will feel uncomfortable because you are telling something and nobody is listening to you. So the eye contact is very important for the speaking skill. The third one that we have is the body language. This one is also very important on this skill. Why? Because with the body language we can as well express our ideas, and also we can express what we are trying to say, and mostly we can use it for the speaking skill whenever you are speaking another language, like in this case English. Why? Because it might be that, for example, at this level, the basic level, we are not that expert at the time of speaking, or it might be that we might have some difficulties when someone else is talking to us, and we might have difficulties understanding what the other person is saying. So that is why it is very important to use our body language, so we can like try to say things like, okay, I want to run, I was driving my car, I was walking by. So with doing those expressions, it's going to be easier for the other people to understand what we are saying or what we are trying to let them know. So in this case, now that we have covered these three important factors about this speaking skill, let's move on and we will review, or we will check our activity. So in the activity, as we saw before, the topic it is tell me about yourself. So this is going to help you a lot in order for you to develop your speaking skill. And just to give you an example, I'm going to give some of my general information so you can have an idea of what you are supposed to say when someone asks you, hey, please tell me about yourself. And also on job interviews, it is very common that the very first question that they ask, it is like, tell me about yourself. Why? Because they want to know you, but that opens a big door in order for you to start expressing yourself, and also in order for you to start like developing the speaking skill. So let's start. In my case, if I say like, or if someone asks me like, tell me about yourself, I will say, so hello, my name is Cesar, I am 29 years old, I am currently studying an English major at Universidad Tecnológica. I am also an employee at whatever company, for example. My favorite color is blue. My favorite food is pizza, for example. My hobbies are to play soccer, to play the drum, to spend time with my family, to spend time with my little kid, right, my son. other things that I like to do is to watch movies, like action movies or horror movies. And I can also talk about my family. Let's say my mother is a secretary. I am married. My wife is the one in charge of doing the household chores, which is a very important task at home. And my stepfather is like a web designer, for example. So that is somehow information that we can share whenever we are asked that question. But if you realize, I was like always trying to look at you, look at your eyes, and moving my hands, using a proper tone of voice, which means that, I mean, I am not sad, I am not bored, trying to express that enthusiastic that you are feeling. So this is what the activity is based on. That's why we will have our student in order to express her ideas and also to respond to that question. So, Angela, can you please come to the front, please? Okay, so let me ask you, Angela, can you please tell me about yourself?
Good evening, teacher. My name is Angela. I'm 34 years old. I'm from El Salvador. I live in San Juan Opico. Every day I wake up at 4 o'clock. I work in Ministerio de Educación. In my free time, I go to the gym. And my favorite hobby is play the piano, run to the mountain, and my favorite food is pasta and pizza. And
Let's say about your family, your mother, your brother. Do you have brothers or?
my brother is an engineer. My sister is a secretary, and my mother is secretary too.
Oh, okay. And how old are them?
My brother he is 31 years old.
Mm-hmm.
My sister 36 years old, and my mother 54.
54.
Yes.
Okay. So very good. An applause to So great. I mean, this is a very, very interesting activity. Why? Because as we just saw, right, how Angela just came to the front and he started expressing information about her. And if you notice or if you realize, he never, like, let's say he never lose that eye contact. He was always like trying to look at me. He was using the body language, and the tone of voice was very appropriate. So that's why we are developing this activity within this class, because of course the skill is speaking, right? So if the skill is speaking and the level that we have is basic, I think that that is an appropriate activity that we can do. We will not have the students do something that is for advanced, like ask the students to speaking in simple past or to speaking or use past participle verbs, because that is something like more advanced. If you realize here we were using like just simple present tense verbs and also simple present sentences, which is the more appropriate for English basic one. I want to give like a class summary, okay, for what we have seen today. at the beginning, so we introduce the topic. For the ones that just don't remember it, it is tell me about yourself. We cover three very important factors that can be applied and that can be used by the students in this skill, which are the tone of voice. We said that the tone of voice, it is very important because it can express your emotions. We also cover the eye contact, because we said that the eye contact, it can actually show if you are paying attention to the person that is talking to you, if you are interested in what the other person is saying or what the other person is trying to express. And the other important factor that we just reviewed was the body language, right? That it can also help you to express your emotions, your ideas, or what you are trying to say, because sometimes, let's say that we meet a foreign person, someone from the United States, right? And we are just starting to speak the English language, and we might be struggling when talking to that person, and we might be having some issues at the time of expressing ideas, or probably at the time that we are talking to that person, we don't know how to say this word, we just forgot. And what we can use is the body language. For example, if you don't, let's say, right, that at that moment you don't remember how to say exercise, right? Let's think that at that moment you forgot that exercise, that verb or what you practice, and you can say, hey, I usually do, and that person will identify, oh, you do exercise. Oh, yes, you got it, yes. That's what I wanted to say. So that's why it is very important, the body language as well. And we were able to put these three elements in practice by performing the activity. As you notice, we were able to put them all in practice on this activity, and we were able to identify if there was any, let's say, any error, that we can go ahead and provide a feedback so it can be corrected. Not immediately, right? But we can just give a time frame. But I just want to congratulate Angela, because she did very good. She used an appropriate tone of voice. She was able to use a good eye contact all the time, and also her body language was very nice. So congratulations, and I really hope that this class, this topic, and this skill can help you guys in order for you to improve your listening skill. And thank you very much for watching. See you later.